Okay, simultaneously launching here. All right. Just leaving from Prison Station Mitchell with a load of H fuel. Head for Tau-37.
We're on a patrol mission from the Tau-37 system.
Tau-2.
And this is, of course, one of the systems added on in the Freelancer Universe mod pack. You can see I've got a unarmored transport Mark II. We still real ammunition because if you get blown up, you lose the ammunition in this because the did I just say ammunition? Ammunition. Because the freighters are all lootable on the Freelancer Universe server. And this is the nice thing about this run, is especially if you've got the proper neutral, and mostly neutral. How did I make the Xenos so angry? That's so funny, I don't remember killing 39 things. Oh wait a minute, no, this is, that's right, this is contingency plan, it's not my other neutral one. Contingency plan is one of my oldest ships. It was actually created while the Get On It server was still working. That was my main server, the Australian Get On It server. But so it was a contingency plan. If that site was down, then I would play this ship. So that was before they had the start as loaded. At least before I knew about it. I'm pretty sure it was before it existed in the mod, but I was still playing vanilla. So you had to create your mostly neutral rep the old-fashioned way by balancing things out. Let's see now, what was that? What was the hell before? Gee, I almost forget. You had to shoot 6 Liberty fighters. Yeah, shoot 6 Liberty Navy, thereabouts, and then get Junker's Bribe and a Zoner's Bribe? And then you were good, for the most part. But I think somewhere along the line I'd use this to blast the crap out of some Xenos, trying to use it as an experiment to see if I could make money looting with it. I had enough guns, and obviously that was just an annoying thing. Somehow I ended up, because I'm shooting all the Xenos, now I have a blinking Liberty Navy rep, so. Either that, or I just never really tried with this and I let it be, let go with the default rep. I don't know. The Outcasts don't mind me, so I must have shot enough, maybe I just did the old shoot enough Xenos until it works kind of thing. You know, this is it's an old chip. Hard to say. That's 62 hours on this. Which is not by far, the maximum number of time I have on the ship. But this is still, for as often as I play it, it's hard to say that Freelancer is still my main game. Because as much as I play anything, things are so busy anymore. But this is the one where I still come back to just to truly relax. I mean, I'm actually enjoying just kind of flying through space here, knowing that no one's really going to bother me in this part of space. Let's see, you're just flying for a certain amount of time, or just watching the exhaust come out, and theoretically, unless someone's shooting at you, this isn't the most exciting thing at all. But if you could put your mind into actually just flying the ship, imagining what it would be like to be in the ship, you can almost put yourself to sleep just kind of watching things just coast along. Matter of fact, I know of guys who've had that happen. Especially back on GOI, they're doing these marathon trading runs because there weren't really any big ships like on here to make huge gobs of money, so you're stuck with a dromedary with 275 cargo. And they would just play. I think the record that I'd ever heard was 37 hours straight. But at least one of the guys coasted off into space. Probably more than one. Well, I've done it. This is a particularly good run. It's not a bad profit margin running the H fuel back out to Tau-37 out of Falkland base, but it's a profit. But the real profit is running the niobium back, because you're basically running the niobium from one of the cheapest points in the game, which is in Falkland where it's mined, one system jump, and you're across to the shipyard. And there you're pulling down, I think, 2,200. It's a huge profit. Now, in theory, there are a lot of bad places in Alaska. I mean, Alaska is a dangerous system. There's nomads in the southeast. Up this area, you should be seeing bunches of outcasts, and we could probably turn the ship scan around if anything comes around. There should be Corsairs and Outcasts, but I believe it's primarily Outcasts. Well, they could try and loot you. Yeah, there we go, Outcasts. Let's see if they ignore us or not. If I can just keep you out of here, I just stayed out of range. Almost to a jump hole. Santa Ana base, as you can see, if that base is hostile, this gets to be really interesting. But if you can keep your rep the right way, you can coast by. To the uninitiated, it may not seem like a good thing that there's some boring ways to make money. But if you're trying to run a clan, and I believe in Freelancer we're still calling them clans. I think the whole video game clan thing is still in vogue. You need cash. You need to be able to set up ships and whatnot. I'm pretty much the only active member of base right now, so as far as this game is concerned, I haven't talked to anybody in a long time. Still keep the website going. Still keep the Facebook going. Still hear from a couple of guys on Facebook. That's about it. Okay, so we jump here to Tau-37. Kick the engines in before you even set destination at Falkland.
Go to.
I'm pretty sure I'm running the high def pack that you can download off the site. I have extremely high hopes for the new game coming out from the creator of Freelancer, Star Citizen. But we'll see if I ever get a machine that can run it.
Dock.
This one won't do it. And right now I'm running a dual core 2.53. That just cries, and it can't
Check.
do
Your request to dock is granted. Please proceed
You're
to dock
talking
1.
pre-alpha stuff that hasn't been optimized, so
We're going to the Alaska system. This is IMG Yellow 12.
pretty sure I'm going to need at least a quad core to get that
We've
happen.
received your transmission, IMG Yellow 12. What is your destination? We're on a patrol mission.
And even so, I mean, it's going to be wonderful one way or another. It's going to be a great game. Unless it's a terrible game, which will be awful. But I really can't imagine it's going to be a terrible game. Let's see. We'll interrupt here. Commodity trader. And see, a little bit of a profit there, but you pick up this niobium for 160. Sadly, this ship has been nerfed a bit, so now it only carries 400. It used to be 500, and I think for 10 million, probably 400 is a bit small.
This is our stop. Thanks for your help.
Server will be starting in approximately 15 minutes. It's up on 7 o'clock already. Amazing.
I'm requesting to dock. Roger
Go
that.
to.
Your request
Set
to
for
dock
the
is
Alaska
granted.
jump
Please
hole.
proceed to dock 2.
There is an unknown jump hole up here someplace too. But there's certain aspects about Freelancer. I mean, there's certain, I've been playing this game since 2005 online. Playing it since it's new, essentially, in 2003, 2004, whenever it came out. I believe it came out in 2003. I think I got it in 2004. I've been playing it for over a decade now. For a decade going on a little more than a decade. Been online for 9 years. I've been in base since January of 05.
Dog.
Leading base since, when did I take over? 6 or 7. Somewhere in there, 2006, 2007. And you might say, well, nice job, What you got going right now is a website and a Facebook page. And there's still some forums out there. And a lot of good memories. I got some friends out of the deal. But everybody pretty much... playing... We were at one point, at the high point of everything, when we were really rolling. We were playing every Friday, every Saturday night for 3-4 hours. And we had, 8 or 9 of us on all the time between us and Draco. And of course, another 8 or 9 people opposing us. As we blasted the crap out of each other. Which is really amazing when you consider us playing an Australian server with a 300 ping. What's my ping going on now? Because I know other people are using the internet. Yeah, 373. So this is basically a trip down memory lane. Come to think of it, I think my ping down at GOI was only 280. But, when you've got Netflix rolling somewhere else in the house and someone else is on YouTube, it brings things down. Hoping to get FiOS at some point, but right now I'm stuck with DSL. For a number of reasons, but there's when you've played week after week after week, I think everybody eventually burned out on it. And then the server closed. We came here, formed the Sentinels. Then eventually the people in the Sentinels were just base anyway, so we went and just changed it back to base. For the most part, that's the history on that short version. I don't know that I could maintain every Friday night, every Saturday night. It would be really tricky. But I don't know that Star Citizen's going to be structured the same way. I mean, we had system battles to do. This will be different. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how things go. If we could, put the band back together, as it were. If not, I don't intend on joining anything else. I'm going to be the leader of base if I'm a leader of myself. Freelancer, I can't imagine ever completely giving it up. I mean, not just because I have so many ships loaded in the game and so much cash. But I mean, there's certain places in the game where, man, we spent so much time just hanging out, just chatting. Newark Station, Freeport 2, London, New Berlin. I still remember when Ikami was stuck in Japan during the tsunami when they were having all the trouble with Fukushima. And we knew he was over there. We were hoping he didn't, there was a whole lot of really horrible things that could have happened there. And so we all actually held vigil around New Tokyo. We kept ships up 24 hours a day until he got home. And thank God he did get home. A good guy. Surgeon General's warning, helping or shooting at SP or admin flagships may be hazardous to your connection. Server start in 10 minutes. I think in 10 minutes I should be able to get all the way to Yuna. so many memories in this game. I mean, it's weird. It's a video game. You wouldn't think you could generate memories. Oh, it was a memorable thing. When we took New York, when we beat the Band of Brothers from New York, Band of Brothers and Atreides, it's a fantastic feeling. I have to do that a couple different times, but I mean, more than that, I mean, there's so many long talks and hanging out with the guys and discussing not just the game, but just life in general. It's so different, really, than whatever memories you'd have at your favorite local watering hole or whatever. The virtual realm is pretty real when you get enough people in it. I have no idea who this is. None. Things getting slightly worse. Guy who runs the server is a RoboCop, really nice guy. I still can't believe he's doing it, which is really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't ever want to see it go away, because even after Star Citizen comes out, Star Citizen is not going to have Planet Manhattan the way I know Planet Manhattan. Planet Pittsburgh. Again, how many times have I parked my ship on Newark? I'm curious. I wonder how much time I have spent on this game screwing around, trading to make money, or doing actual combat. It's got to be probably, the actual combat's probably around 30%. Yeah, maybe not. It's 20%. Trading's probably 20%. The rest of it's screwing around. It's a familiar place. I know, you're thinking, wait a minute, you're just looking at a bunch of strange, it looks like kind of like wood with stuff nailed through it. I mean, that's Microsoft's design. I don't know, it's the strangest asteroids I've ever seen. Some sort of crystalline formations, I guess. Aligned by the solar wind. I guess, or maybe they looked it up and this is a possible thing that you could see in space. I don't know.
Dock.
Moving to dock. But very shortly, you'll see that this is a very good run. I mean, as far as, if you're looking for a trade route,
Acknowledged.
you can do
Your
worse
request to
than this
dock
one.
is granted. Please proceed to dock 1. By yourself.
And back in the day, it was a heck of a lot more fun if you had a convoy going.
We've received your transmission. Bounty hunters went 10. Where are you heading?
The auto-docking systems have always been interesting.
Incoming Liberty Heavy Fighter Patrol. This is...
The good news is that an AT-2 does outturn a humpback, as far as I know.
This is Navy Beta 8. Sending the data now.
Maybe not, but I think it
Your
does.
transmission, Navy Beta 8.
Whereas the humpback, well,
This
I
is
can just go
Navy
into
Beta
loops
8
for
to
it.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1. I have orders to scan your hold. Well, you're clear. I didn't find anything.
It's always interesting when you get Alpha 1-1 when you're in the multiplayer game. It was always a notable moment. Okay, now we bought it for $160. Sell it for $2,200. Not a bad deal. Black Knight here, aka Vince Schuda. Have a great day, everybody.
Cream gravy.
It's good.